Good morning, everybody. My name is Dr. Yolanda Cintron. I'm a biological dentist in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I'm here with my beautiful patient, Adrienne. Adrienne is a speakeasy singer.
Yeah,
She's
the
very,
jazz singer, yeah.
she's very talented, and she's doing what she loves, and she's singing at.
A bunch of places locally, but I have a band and I DJ house music and do a bunch of different things. Keeps me busy, which is amazing. Dr. Yolie keeps my smile amazing and healthy so I can do what I do and sing on the microphone confidently.
Yeah, I love Adrienne because, she's so knowledgeable. So she was sharing just today that she has done the mercury removal
Mercury removal.
and the detoxification,
Mm-hmm.
and then how she was able to get rid of the parasites after. So you want to
Yeah.
share about parasite cleanse and the moon and all that?
Yes. So, as you know, I was a terrible clencher. So, I had mercury in my mouth. I had three, four different fillings. And maybe 20 years, those had been just slowly poisoning my brainstem, which is
Mhm.
horrible. And I had had so much anxiety about getting them removed because I knew enough to know that you can't just go to any dentist to get that removed. You have to go through all these different protocols and make sure that that's not going to be poisoning your bloodstream when they're taking them out. Thank God I
Mhm.
found you and you were able to take those out. And then we go to the next step of like, well, now how do I detox? Because when you have metal in your mouth, you clench a lot because you're being poisoned really by
Mhm.
mercury, more mercury poisoning. So then I started the protocol to detox from that. And then also you have to do a parasite cleanse. Everybody should be cleansing because we all have parasites all the time. And the ancients knew this and they would cleanse often. So before you do a parasite cleanse, though, you also have to do a heavy metal detox because the parasites will hide behind the heavy metals that are in our bloodstream, right? And we all have exposure to this all the time. So I'm on a regular regimen now for parasite cleansing. I just got a tincture. Honestly, you can get one from like Amazon, but it's got black walnut, clove, and a couple other things in it. And so I do one of those one a day. It's just a basic standard thing for like, daily care. But then also everybody should be doing a parasite cleanse at least twice a year, but definitely once a year if you can. And they tend to party a little bit around the full moon, just like humans. We get crazy on the full moon. And who knows, maybe it's actually just the parasites in us. Just even, wee! So so you definitely want to do spring is the best time now, actually is the best time to cleanse because they go through different cycles, lunar cycles, and then during the full moon too. So like investigate a good parasite cleanse. I know you have like
Mhm.
a one-stop shop. Your full cleanse, yours does metal because you need the zeolite, you need a good
Right.
binder. You don't want to release those things and then just
Mhm.
have them rolling around your bloodstream. So
Yeah.
I know what's yours called. I forget.
Well, it depends on the patients, because we have to see everybody's so unique. But one of my favorite ones is the black box from, the scientific, is Quicksilver Scientifics. But, there's so many, and really we custom what we become into patients according to their medical history. Because, if somebody, say, has one metal in the mouth and they still have it, then you have to be careful that you're not pulling the metals. Anytime you have metals like mercury, aluminum, lead, cadmium, even titanium in your body, right in the mouth of the body, you're going to be a person that has a lot of electrical currents, the
Mm.
galvanism. So part of the trauma of the clenching is because you have electrical currents and you're being electrocuted. Your cells are being electrocuted. Your brain is being electrocuted. So people, I remember patients, even with braces, they can actually listen to radio stations
Oh my gosh.
without having a radio in their house. So, these are things and claims that patients have that are legitimate. So we have heard, patients say so many different stories, Recently, I went to a seminar this weekend and they had one of the speakers speaking about he's an orthopedic surgeon and he removes the titanium implants of the body. He found that, when the patients remove all the screws, and he's showing all the screws that people got, he removed out of the body. He found that when he would send the patient to a dentist to remove the mercury or the gold or whatever metal, that literally the patient would have a reversal in the medical history, and
Mm.
they don't have this joint pain. They don't have this electrical AFib, like the electrical current of the heart. So it's fascinating, to share that with the public, because what do you have in your mouth? If you have, mercury, you're going to have not only parasites, you're going to have yeast. Candida thrives in mercury.
Mm.
And that's how the body protects you and protects your kidney not to go into kidney failure.
Right.
So, these are like the body's so smart.
It is.
And, having less parasites in your body is a great idea. And I have that liquid that you're saying with the wormwood and the
Yes.
blackwood,
Thank
and
you.
it's got like 5 different antiparasitic. So I personally do things every day for antiparasites. For
Mhm.
example, I eat the pumpkin seeds,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
And I like papaya seeds. So, the papaya, you don't chew them. You don't chew papaya seeds, you swallow them whole. And that's a really great antiparasitic. And then, for patients that are sicker, fenbendazole.
Yep.
Fenbendazole and ivermectin, I see patients doing those protocols, and I see, a great change.
Oh, yeah, big time. Mel Gibson was just on Joe Rogan talking about that. And
Yeah.
he's like, I had 3 friends that had terminal
Cancer.
terminal
Yeah.
cancer. And he goes, they all did the same things. They all did the methylene blue, the fenbendazole, and ivermectin. And he's like,
Mhm.
all 3 of them are no longer not only terminal, but do not have cancer. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot out there in your diet, as you know, like you just said. I mean, and you can look all these things up.
Yeah.
You look,
There's Facebook groups,
yeah,
there's great Facebook groups, people sharing their testimonies. And, why would anybody make that up?
yeah, no.
Hmm.
Well, and it's crazy because there's not a lot of money to be made if you can just cure yourself eating pumpkin seeds or whatever.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
not to oversimplify it, but
Yeah.
yeah, you
That's
just,
part of, my diet is like a powerhouse in the morning. Like I literally do 1,000 calories in breakfast. So I do a lot of MCT oil,
yep,
right? And, if I do, say, a goat milk goat
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yogurt, I'm going to put blueberries, a cup of blueberries. I'm going to do pumpkin seeds. I'm going to do chia seeds, flaxseed, sesame seed, hemp seed. I have over 40 grams of protein in my
Amazing.
breakfast. Yeah, it's a
Wow,
powerhouse. So I mix all that up and I make that on Sunday.
wow,
And then what I do add every day is I'm going to add 4 tablespoons of MCT oil. I'm going to add oregano. I'm
right,
going to add olive oil. It's so
exactly.
tasteful. And I'm going to add whatever, raspberry, strawberry, and other fruits, and I mix it up. And, you know, the chia seeds has omega-3, flaxseed not only has fiber, omega-3s, all of them are going to support my brain because we need our brain,
Yeah,
protected and fed. And
mhm,
there's a lot of things that are going to, like the Wi-Fi, has an impact on your brain.
of
So you have
course.
to protect, your brain with
Yeah.
foods that are going to be protective. And sometimes I add rosemary. I always put oregano because I love the flavor of oregano.
Do you just do the oil, the oregano, like
No,
the
no,
tincture?
I have
Oh, like actual
literally
oregano, okay.
oregano.
I do drops of the oregano oil.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, I
like
know. Yeah.
spicy, very spicy.
Oregano oil actually, if you don't like the taste, you can go under the foot.
Oh,
You take
interesting.
you take a few drops oregano, maybe 1 or 2 because it's very strong.
Yeah, you only
You
need
put
like
it
2.
under the foot like that.
Oh, that's
Within
interesting.
4 seconds, it's gonna be in your brain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good to know. Every time I get sick, which is rare these days, but
Mhm.
oregano oil is
Yeah.
like instantly and it's gone, like
Yeah,
whatever it is.
oregano, is antiparasitic, is also antifungal. So,
It,
and MCT oil is antifungal as well. Coconut oil. I eat coconut. Like today, I have my drink is coconut water with pomegranate, like an ounce of pomegranate, because that's very good for your heart. And then I have a scoop of protein, and I have collagen, creatine. I just
protein's
anything I
so good
do,
too.
yeah, anything we do, it's got to be mindful.
Our food's supposed to be our medicine. Like
Yeah.
Hippocrates said, let food be thy medicine.
Exactly. So
And
what do you like to eat?
a lot of the stuff you just said, and I'm so glad you brought up MCT oil again because I was so good about doing my bulletproof coffee for like
Just
years.
put
And
it in there. Yeah. Yogurt right there, anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't taste like anything.
You know how it is though when you start to do things, like humans do things until they work, and then you're like, "Oh, that was good," and then you forget and fall off, so we
Right,
can always
right.
get back on, and
Yeah, yeah. So what I have is like in my kitchen, right? Is my kitchen looks like a laboratory,
Mm.
okay? My daughter comes and says, "Mom, this is getting out of control." But I have herbs and like this morning I made green tea, right?
Yeah.
Matcha tea. But I decided to put in the boiling water the clove.
Mm.
Clove is antiparasitic.
Smells so good too.
Yeah, the clove and the star anisette.
Yep.
Why? My spirit told me to do that. You know, it's like you have to listen to your body and then you follow. You follow because the body knows what the body needs.
Absolutely. And I try to eat intuitively too. Like for the
Yeah.
longest time, like I couldn't eat bananas. I would get heartburn. And then all of a sudden I went through a phase where all I wanted was bananas. And now I'm like, okay, well, that has been
Hmm.
satisfied. And now I've
Hmm.
been into like red meat lately. Like my body just knows
Protein.
that I need
Hmm.
it. But I do a lot of like sunny side up, grass fed, free range eggs. I mean, that's a
Yeah.
huge staple for me.
Eggs are huge.
Our brain needs fat. We need collagen.
Y- they're trying to speak people about need eggs. It's like that's the perfect food.
I eat so many eggs. Like my
Yeah.
best friend came over was like, "I have a question. Do you need me to pick up some eggs?" Because there was like 8 cartons of eggs in my fridge. I'm like, "I know, listen, don't judge me. They're so good for you."
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
the perfect protein. It's the perfect food, eggs.
Yeah.
And when I hear people saying, "Oh, I'm only having egg whites," I'm thinking, Lord Jesus.
Why? You're throwing away the gold.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's like the main, what produces everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I do, like, a lot of grass-fed steak and until I don't need it, and then I'm like, I lay off for a little bit.
Yeah.
But I do, like, raw kefir, I do raw milk, a lot of berries, like, low sugar fruits.
Hmm.
I try to eat seasonally too,
Yeah.
and then also with my cycle. So, like, when I'm ovulating, I'll do more, like, mangoes and, like,
Hmm.
pumpkin seeds, and, like, you can tell your body feels like I
Yeah.
feel rich when I'm eating a papaya, I'm like, I feel, like,
There's
so
nothing like it.
luxurious
There's
now.
nothing like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had papaya yesterday.
Oh, it's so
So
good.
it's so delicious. So, it's so interesting because they want to normalize and make people think that if God made it, it's perfect. But the thing is that if man put Monsanto, put pesticides, then we're going to have a problem.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm encouraging everybody I know, if they have a little piece of land in your house, just plant stuff. Even if you do herbs, you know, like the
Especially
herbs
herbs.
are so powerful, you
And you can
know.
make tinctures too and keep
Yeah.
them forever,
Yeah.
You can do
Little bad.
yeah, I'll do, like, Everclear and, you can make, like, rosemary. I used to, like, bartend too, so I love all the and I think every woman also loves, like, the witchy element of, like, "Let's make all these beautiful potions." But, yeah, rosemary, like you said, it's so good for your digestion and all these things too when you
And your
boil it.
mind, your
Yeah.
mind. It's
Yeah.
anti-dementia. And it blocks the Wi-Fi, you know that, right?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Rosemary, yeah.
Okay.
Rosemary literally blocks the Wi-Fi. It protects your brain. It's one of the best things to protect your brain, rosemary. So, doing rosemary and putting rosemary in your tea every day is like a no-brainer.
Yeah, and we, Americans don't do a lot of tea. We're coffee people, but
Hmm.
tea is so good for you and we don't utilize it enough. Like you can put anything in there.
Yeah.
And like first thing, like when I'm feeling poorly, I'll do, my turmeric, grate my ginger. I always keep those frozen in the freezer and
Mm.
add my cinnamon and take a shot of garlic and apple cider vinegar or whatever. Um,
That's God's medicine.
yeah, hot peppers too, like,
Yeah.
do some habanero, throw that in there. Yeah, boy, you take a shot of that. I make one too with Everclear where I'll keep a jar and you just take a little schnocker, it's called fire cider, and then not only do you feel better, like, "Woo," but then it knocks your cold out too. You're getting just
Yeah.
a good blast.
Yeah. Yeah. Garlic is one of best antimicrobial, antiviral,
So good.
And another thing that I do is selenium.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Selenium, like if you have 3 Brazil nuts a day, you have enough selenium not to get a virus.
Well, and then I needed that too because mercury depletes your selenium.
Yeah.
And so I've had a shellfish allergy my whole life because of the mercury, I think.
Right.
And so the mercury gobbles up the selenium, and then the selenium cannot process iodine. You don't have.
Yeah, the thyroid gets affected with the mercury.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so that was
Hmm.
something that was told to me by an intuitive person, a friend of mine, that I had to get my iodine supplements from, like, eating raw like, kelp, like,
Mhm.
to get not take supplements, but just have kelp.
Yeah,
So
kelp and dulse. Dulse is like an algae,
oh, right,
and
okay.
then they cut it, and it's like instead of salt,
Mm.
you can use dulce, and it has a particular taste, but you can put it over the salads or
Oh, nice.
after you cook, and it gives you a lot of iodine.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna look into that for sure.
Yeah, you can get it. Hippocrates in West Palm Beach has a website and you
Okay.
can order, but you can get it on Amazon as well. But if you want to make sure it's pure,
Mm.
it's one of those things. Yeah, when patients have mercury, the mercury competes with iodine. And on top, if the water has fluoride, chlorine, mercury, and iodine, they compete for the same spot. So when you have mercury, your thyroid is going to be affected, which is very, 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 important to protect your thyroid. The thyroid, if a woman has a tooth, a root canal on the thyroid meridian or mercury, she may not be able to get pregnant.
Mm.
So it's one of those things, it's a hormonal disruptor. So
Right.
all those things are really, people are going into menopause young. A lot of patients we have that haven't been able to get pregnant because of the mercury.
Yeah, I think when we're healthy, when we get back to living how we're supposed to live, like with the land, one with nature, our circadian
Mhm,
rhythm, we're up with the sun and barefoot grounding in the earth. We get,
mhm,
the water intake, everything's fresh, good, clean food. That's how we're supposed to be living. And I think people are
mhm.
moving back to that. We're like,
Praise God.
Yeah, praise Jesus,
Yeah.
amen. We're like, this is not working. People are sick of being sick and they intuitively know that something's missing. And so, people like you, thank God we have you out there being a voice and educating people and helping. Like we're getting back to living
Yeah, the way it was
how
meant
we're
to be.
supposed to live,
Yeah, another thing is
connected.
community, right?
Oh,
So there's a disconnect. Society has accelerated to a degree of disconnect that there's no community. So your work is most probably the biggest community you have because you're spending 8 hours with people that are not your family. So it's like getting along with each other is like something really important. But there's so much division in the world, in the media, that's causing division everywhere. So, my prayer today is for peace, world peace, personal peace, and for us to be grounded in the Lord because, He is the King of Peace. He is the
mhm.
Prince of Peace. He is the source of joy. And Jesus said to his disciples, my peace I leave you. So, praying for peace in the world and within ourselves, in our spirit. So we speak a lot about dentistry, but if I have to choose a message, it's going to be Jesus is Lord
Mhm.
and we love you.
God bless, amen.